At the top of our list here is John Ross. Now, the Bengals, we've seen the overhaul in the coaching staff this offseason, and what a difference it's made, at least into game one. Andy Dalton just threw for a career high in passing yards this past week against the Seahawks defense, a defense that usually isn't too shabby in Seattle. Not to mention, John Ross took in 12 targets, 158 yards, 2 touchdowns, dropped a pass that probably would have got him about another 40, 50 yards there late in the fourth quarter. John Ross is looking really good on his Bengals team right now, and a Bengals team that looks committed to passing the ball a lot more than they used to be. Andy Dalton might even start to look interesting in fantasy again this year. Even with AJ Green possibly coming back in a couple weeks, I wouldn't be concerned about it. With a guy like John Ross's speed, they're gonna find ways to take chances with this guy. He's gonna have that big play potential every single day, every week. The big problem with John Ross is staying healthy. If he can do it this year, he's got some great potential. Malcolm Brown. Everybody was looking at Henderson Jr. this year. Turns out it's going to be Malcolm Brown taking the backup duties over there for Todd Gurley, and everybody was wondering how much that load of Todd Gurley was going to be held back, and there was a lot. Malcolm seen 11 carries. He got 2 touchdown carries, and in a high-powered offense like the Rams, 11 carries is a lot. You're going to get a lot of them touchdown chances. Maybe they want to keep Todd Gurley out of them goal-to-goal situations if they can more often. Less bumps he's got to take. Malcolm Brown's looking really good right here on a team like the Rams. Rex Burkhead. Now, he might not be a good play all year, but if you can pick this guy up without wasting a waiver claim, he's gonna probably be a good play next week. It's the Miami Dolphins. They try to give up touchdowns to every single player on the other team. They're looking more and more like a college team as the weeks progress here. They dropped 59 against the Ravens last week. Not to mention, Burkhead seen 8 carries. He's seen 5 receptions. He had 85 total yards last week. That was against the Steelers. Imagine the chances he's gonna get against the Dolphins. He's gonna be in there maybe the entire second half. Depends how ugly this game gets. Burkhead's looking pretty good for next week. Jamison Crowder. Now, Jamison Crowder, probably a guy I'm not too big and convinced on because I don't like going with Jets players. I'm sorry, Sam Darnold, prove yourself first, and then we'll talk about the Jets players. They already got Robbie Anderson to worry about. But Crowder, man, seen 17 targets last week, 14 receptions. That tells me that this team is finding a way to get him involved in this offense, and there's no doubt about it. You got to think about Jamison Crowder. If you need a flyer on a wide receiver, he might be your guy. We talk about another guy you could take a flyer on and stash. That's James Washington. Do I think he's going to be great next week? But I think it's becoming more and more apparent. They seen it in training camp. They thought he was playing great. Took a big step from last season. They still started Dante Moncrief in that 2 spot over there in Pittsburgh. Last night, Dante Moncrief pretty well dropped an egg. 3 receptions, 7 yards. He was targeted 10 times. He dropped a couple passes. He did not look good out there at all. And you know this Steelers offense is going to find a way to sling it. James Washington could somehow take over Moncrief, which is looking more and more likely. He did have 6 targets and 50 yards last night, but it's looking more and more likely he takes that 2 spot, and this guy's set to have a breakout season. One of those guys you pick up off waivers now and you're going to regret not doing it down the road. I think you got to take a chance on stashing Washington here. If you have a roster spot open to stash him for a week, that's our 5 waiver targets. So for this week, we'll try to keep this weekly. As always, hope you guys enjoyed the video. A sub, a like, always appreciated, never required. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.